I have a riddle. What are two terrifying words for Genshin Impact players? Lost 50-50? Not quite. The answer is C6 Bennett. Ruining gameplay. Dismiss character's potential. Worst max constellation. This might be what the player said upon hearing C6 Bennett. But hang on, is C6 Bennett really that bad and that unworthy? Myth or fact? Let's get into it. As an introduction, please meet C6 Bennett. C6 Bennett is known to give 15% bonus pyro damage for those who are within his ultimate area. Pyro infusion will be given for sword, polearm, and claymore users. This specific infusion part is the reason behind why people are afraid and avoid activating C6 Bennett. Of course, C6 Bennett will come in handy to all pyro characters, starting from 4-star pyro like Xiangling till 5-star ones like Diluc, Klee, Yoimiya, and other pyro characters. Yet some characters feel disadvantaged by C6 Bennett, such as Ayaka, Eula, and Keqing. The infusion skill, which is created by Ayaka and Keqing, can be overridden by C6 Bennett and results in your Ayaka inflicting pyro damage instead of cryo. The same thing goes to Keqing, which turns electro damage to pyro. Obviously, this is a huge loss to both characters. As for Eula, we all know her role as physical DPS. Aside from her ultimate, her basic attack is one of her damage output, since it inflicts massive physical damage. If you're pairing Eula with C6 Bennett, Eula's basic attack will turn to pyro and be unable to create high physical damage out of her basic attack. So it's a fact. C6 Bennett is bad? What if I say, all this time, you've misjudged C6 Bennett? Here are the reasons. As I said, most of the players who complain about C6 Bennett were Eula, Keqing, and Ayaka mains. But when I think about it, they don't depend on Bennett. Starting with Eula, a physical DPS, which means she needs superconduct reactions the most. Exactly. Elemental reaction between cryo and electro. It's likely to use Eula without Bennett, even if he only acts as a character alternative and not as Eula's main support in her team comp. Instead of using Bennett as Eula's support, it's better to use Zhongli for his shield. It can lower the enemy resistance, including physical one. Or Mika, who's clearly 4-star cryo support for physical DPS. You can even use Lisa, a 4-star electro character, to lower 15% enemy's defense with her ultimate. Aside from superconduct, Eula is applicable in Satyr team. It's not even recommended to use any pyro here. Surely, even C6 Bennett and under isn't recommended in this team. As for Ayaka, to those Reverse Melt Ayaka users, C6 Bennett is a disadvantage. After looking closely, most Ayaka users use Freeze Team Comp, which doesn't need any pyro DPS in it. Even the best artifacts for Ayaka are for Blizzard, solely for Freeze Team. As meta, Ayaka works best in Freeze Team Comp until now. Ayaka's value lies in Freeze Team. Again, Bennett is uncalled for. The same way goes to Keqing. Try to recall the reason behind Keqing, the standard character becoming popular and leveling up as meta. Correct, it's caused by Dendro reaction, aggravated, a reaction between Electro and Dendro, which boosts Keqing's significant damage. Do you copy? Yup, she doesn't depend on Bennett. He is totally not recommended to be on Keqing's aggravated team, as he disrupts elemental reactions of Dendro and Electro. Talking about meta, aggravated team is the best choice for Keqing up till now. Now you got me right. Bennett isn't even the best support slot for those who are disadvantaged by C6 Bennett. On the contrary, many reap their benefits by having C6 Bennett. One of them is Xiangling. As I've said in the beginning, Xiangling and Bennett were considered a pair. I'm sure you often bring both of them in the team. Therefore, C6 Bennett really gives a great extra damage for Xiangling's ultimate. Her ultimate alone with Bennett's buff is hurtful enough. Can you imagine with C6 Bennett? The Spiral Abyss will set ablaze. There's even more character that got the benefit of C6 Bennett. For example, you can use your Xianyun with Bennett C6, then 8 Gaming or Diluc as the main DPS. With that character's combination, the main DPS can get Plunging Infusion easily with the help of C6 Bennett. Or, if you would like to use C6 Bennett for things out of the box, such as using Keia's ultimate with C6 Bennett, there'll be continuous melt reaction. Once you add Xiangling, get ready to turn the enemies in Teyvat into dust. I agree that those characters have better support characters in Team Comp aside from Bennett. But what about other characters in Fusion? That's it! Do you realize the disadvantaged character by C6 Bennett are those who are released way back then? Yep, it seems however start to notice the matter about C6 Bennett. That's why, if you look closely, the recently released characters are fine with C6 Bennett since their infusion can't be overridden. For instance, Al-Haytham, despite having the same skill infusion as Keqing, his Dendro infusion can't be overridden. Al-Haytham's infusion stays Dendro, although combined with C6 Bennett. The latest example is Navia. She has Geo infusion after using her skill, which can't be overridden. It doesn't matter whether your Bennett is on C6. Those are all about C6 Bennett. As a matter of fact, C6 Bennett isn't that frightful, not bad at all. In some cases, his C6 actually maximizes your character's damage output. Regarding activating your Bennett to C6, it's your own choice. Look beforehand at the characters you have or the most often team com you use, then decide whether to have your Bennett to C6 or not. Hey, thanks for watching. We have other video you can watch. It will be popped in the screen for now. Make sure you watch it. Once again, thank you. See you in another video.